Thank you for watching today's video. If you're new to this channel, my name is Chris, aka Caveman Chreo. And for the next 20 or so minutes, I'm going to spend this paint presentation trying to monologue the detailed backstory or the definition on why I developed this channel and the content behind it. So there's a business, a brand, followed by a family-owned business, and a book. So if I have to start off with my origins, they start off with where I was born and raised, which was East Chatham Villa. I was born to a family of 7 where both my parents were educators and business managers. I don't want to spend the next 20 minutes trying to detail my academic achievements, but I will go down a list of all the schools that I've attended. Starting off with elementary school, I was at Frank Gillespie. I went to high school at Perspectives. And as for colleges, all the colleges or schools that I've attended started with Chicago State University, Olive Harvey, and Harold Washington. I'm still enrolled as of today. I'm currently pursuing my business arts bachelor's just so I can open up a fine arts business. I also want to get my business coaching license because I want to be for real. Because you know I'm too legit to quit. When it comes down to education, teaching, or business coaching, the type of skills that I implement consist of reading, writing, and communication. So this helps with memory organization training. Just to take it a step further, I also include visual tools as well as learning aids and speech mechanics. With my small business entrepreneur's license, I'm able to do jump starts and quick starts a lot more quickly and a lot more effectively. So my art business does consist of modeling, cinematography, photo editing, DIY workshop customs. I wouldn't like to consider myself to be a trust fund baby, but I do get a lot of help as well as financial support. To me, when it comes to niche development or passive income, you must secure your investments. So for me personally, I have to find value in the little things that I do as well. My family-owned business is based on tradition as well as customs. I don't like to think that we look the same, talk the same, act the same, or think the same, but we're all creative in our own way. Now, as for me personally, this is just almost like a little side note, but I have YPP applications that date back to both 2020 and 2023. So altogether, I'm affiliated with YouTube, Amazon, and NVIDIA, and Adobe. I'm currently on a marketing administrative side, but I'm also considered a community partner. On the internet influencer hierarchy, I just fall as a public figure, but I'm literally one of those YouTubers that hopes in the year 2024 that there's a renaissance that occurs that allows the smaller channels to kind of rise from out of nowhere. Now, I'm nobody special, but I do take what I do very seriously and very carefully. What I've learned from watching years of TED Talk, Philip Kotler mentioned the 5 P's, which were product, principle, price, and placement, and promotion when it comes to business development. But I have 4 P's of my own that I like to use. These 4 P's consist of projects, promotions, presentations, as well as premieres. Now, I'm not saying you need the best internet hygiene, but in this case, this will at least help you get all your ideas just onto your platforms or all your social medias. For the year of 2024, I want to launch my AVIF art campaign. I currently know what it takes to do YouTube full-time, so I want to do this non-stop, no breaks, straight milestones, if you will. I'm committing most of my work to a gold grade book. Now, as for my projects pertaining to 3D, 4D, 5D cinematics, those are just my books on my presentations that I do for my art courses. So that alone, you can get a lot of tips and ideas, so definitely keep up with those projects. I'm trying to be somewhat like a flagship franchise team player, so I like to use Michael Jordan as a bit of inspiration. I registered my LLC as a trade, so my current title is Chief Operations Officer. As for my book, Creating History, that's just an art book / handbook. Now, as for my second book, which is The Renaissance of Conceptualism, that's going to take a lot of work. That book actually helps you get all your ideas out onto paper before you get a chance to lose them. You can take your ideas and systems and further develop those. And when you finally find your team, you can further those. I also believe that you shouldn't put a whole lot of time or money into a lot of your ideas. You got to keep in mind that you got to get a return from your investment at some point. Now, it's always okay to start off cheap, but don't hurt yourself in the end financially. I get free feedback from my family, so I know the same can be said for everyone else. They know I'm good at customizations and presentations, so I've taken advantage of that. With that being said, I need them as a public outlet. I know there's a lot of products that I want to come out with, but I need to put out some form of market for them. I currently don't make any money off my videos, and I'm more than willing to do it for free. I've designed a lot of my clothes as well as my hardware, and I've had the history of doing the same for others and doing it for free. I have a lot of valuables that I eventually give away after a while. I'm minimalistic only because I have OCD. That's not my only disorder. I also have Cushing syndrome as well as I'm bipolar. The one thing that I would admit that I hate about the current state of YouTube or the YouTubers that's on it falls down to 3 categories. The first one being the cash grab side of it. I don't feel like everything is a gained or a missed opportunity per se, but it takes the time out to just recognize it in the beginning, or at least before it gets worse. With that being said, we need to mention diversity, or at least a diversification of YouTube. For me, it all comes down to manageability. So depending on how many skills you might possess at the time, you might want to just go on and further develop them before they start rusting. The last thing I want to discuss before I go on with the paint side of this presentation was the exploitation of YouTubers. So it starts with upper management and it ends with the little guy. I just don't like the thought of some of the YouTubers who do have golden opportunities who are just getting breadcrumbs. I'm not saying that they all deserve the big loaves, but at some point we do need to crown our champions. That was the sole reason behind my CBC brand for Crown Brand Creations. It can also be considered Crown Brand Clothing or Crown Brand Club, but the symbolisms is followed by a crown representing a sacred mind, followed by a heart, which means a sacred heart. And I actually use both across my business and my brand. This also doesn't stop me from leading smaller organizations, with that being said. Now I want to move on to the part of the video where I've been doing a lot of green screen projects. So I was able to work with Adobe's Clear Screen 3D Visions software, where they'll allow you to not only work with eliminating the backgrounds and foregrounds, or at least multi-layering them through Photoshop. You also have them through Premiere and After Effects. So I developed some cardboard cutouts where I've used some green and some white so I can use reversible layer colors. I also bought some circular discs that I'll use as turntables, so when I do scans or do presentations, I'm able to do screenshots or take photos at different angles without computerizing any of the content. If you haven't seen some of the videos on my channel, so far I use the turntable just on my shoes. Next I want to use them for the die-cast model cars. This should also be the part of the video where I mention my business referral links for UHA of Fine Arts. We do custom paint jobs, not just stopping at furniture, because next I'm going to do this chalkboard layout for this table that I use for utility purposes. Also presentations, I also teach with it too, because I'll do chalkboard diagrams, and I also do blueprints on them. So far for my business, I've only done the green screen for the walls as well as gaming setups. For me personally, I've already done my own personal gaming setup as well as a workbench. Just for my Crown members, I'm just going to be sure to add some videos where I can show you guys how to do it yourselves, just in case if you don't need the business services side. It's real easy to do, but like I tell everybody, it's a work in progress. But just take your time. Lastly, I want to spend the last couple minutes of this video mentioning how I would like to use my social platform in principle. I know early in the year on January 6th, I was involved in a car wreck. Now, I only got admitted at the police station, but that didn't stop me from being diagnosed with Cushing syndrome. And then I also had a stomach virus less than 2 weeks after. I wasn't able to recover until about the third week, but now that I've had a chance to, I've been taking not just the time to just get some rest and some exercise and try to get up, as early as possible, because I know that's one of those things that delayed not just my personal growth, but my financial income as well as my health. So I want to use this as not only just a recuperation process, but like I say, a kickstart and a little bit of a jump start. I know pretty soon I'm turning 30, so I want to take the time out to use everything that I learned up into this process to just go on ahead and get into my modeling career.
Now go sit in the corner and think about your life.
And I've also made a promise to work with a lot of people in this process. So now I just want to use my business coaching skills to be able to promote business marketing. This is looking forward to modeling as well as technology for networking. For me personally, I feel like it won't be long before I convert my LLC into an administration. By that time, I would have been done, graduated my undergrad program. This is just not for my business arts associates, but also my financial account management. Now, using the same chalkboard paint, I was able to make another cardboard cutout for a credit card. I just used the credit card to retrograde and upgrade my own content as well as my Crown members projects. And I just used the credit card as a scorecard, certificate, as well as a teaching and coaching license. So now I just want to take the time out to thank all the Crown members for supporting the team and all the fans for supporting the business.